Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, presents the NXT Win Report. We start with breaking news. Coming up, NXT is moving to a new home in the next year. NXT, you won't believe, is moving to a new home. So NXT won't be on the USA Network after September 2024. They're going to a new home in October 2024. And you won't believe what the new home is. Kind of gave you a preview right there what the new home is going to be coming up. But I'm going to kick things off with some action as well. Former NXT champion Braun Breaker is in action. He takes on Von Wagner. And Von Wagner gets revenge over Braun Breaker. What Braun Breaker did to him. We'll talk about it. So speaking of former NXT champions, former NXT women's champion, Tiffany Stratton. She goes against Fallon Henry one-on-one for Iron Survival Challenge match qualifying. We'll talk about that as well. We kick things off on NXT with Raw's Akira Tozawa taking on Noam Dar. Going back in the days of the 205 Live days. We'll talk about it. And plus two, Live Valkyria with a stunning upset over Becky Lynch 2 weeks ago at Halloween Havoc Night 1 to win the NXT Women's Championship. She is back and she has a vengeance and stuff. All this and more in the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. This edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Kendra Diggs here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe and skin. Tell a friend, call a friend. Hit that subscribe button here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Like we said, we got a lot to get to tonight here on the NXT Ring Report. But we're going to kick things off with this breaking news right here. On the CW Network. Yes, you heard me on the broadcast television show. The CW Network will be the new home for NXT coming up next fall. In fall 2024, the CW Network, I couldn't believe it. I never would have thought the CW would return back to prominence as it did in wrestling a couple of years ago on prime time. So we know it's going to be prime time. We just don't know what day. Hopefully it'll be a Tuesday. Many of you may not remember the CW when it first started in inception was the home of SmackDown for a couple of years. SmackDown was on the CW network, and now WWE returns back to the CW network. They did a lot of programs as well. They did programs with Saturday Morning Slam or Saturday Morning the program, and now SmackDown, and now they're bringing WWE is coming back home to the NXT to bring NXT to CW. This was big. This is some breaking news. I mean, who would never imagine and ever thought that SmackDown, CW of all people, was in deep negotiation. This came out the blue, to be honest. Did not see this coming. It was under the blue. Many people, myself, thought like, okay, how they gonna find a home and stuff. I was thinking they was gonna stay on USA, but I guess that's not the case. This is the official press release right here, as you see right here. The CW and NXT, CW Network did a 5-year extension, a 5-year agreement once we can show it right quick. Um, so WWE is going to be producing their programs on the CW. This is the press release right here. NXT makes its broadcast television debut with a 5-year deal beginning October 2024, and they were to air live events with WWE's next generation of superstars, 52 weeks a year. This is a big right here. This is another big for the press release right here. Um, this would the CW president said that we are thrilled to welcome WWE brand into CW Sports Profile, like they did once again 2006 to 2010, 4 years ago, to play an integral role in our mission to bring live sports to the network year round. When Dennis Miller said the president, said, uh, NXT is a perfect fit for the CW thanks to his dynamic young talent featuring the highest rising stars in the sport and exhilarating, unpredictable regular event. The passion engaged fan base is unmatched. WWE's fan base unmatched and eager to grow the audience as NXT new home on broadcast television. This was WWE President Nick Khan had stated the CW has made an impressive move to put the past year with his live sporting programming schedule. Like CW got a big portfolio with NASCAR, Live Golf, and many others. So it's saying Nick Khan stuff. Then they talking about the when Triple H launched the brand 2020, 2012. Um, Shawn Michaels leading the brand. So D Generation X, the stuff. No one in prime time on Tuesday nights, last quarters. So NXT is joining in the growing roster of CW on the Seat Live Sports with ACC football, basketball game airing week, inside the NFL. Like I said, Live Golf, inside the NFL with broadcast beginning in 2025. The network will soon offer 500 hours of sports program. So they trying to turn the CW into a sports league program, which I can't blame. But you never knew that the CW was they had to find its niche, and I think they found their niche with sport. So this is big. So we know. So we now know that the CW is coming to NXT is coming to the CW. We saw that SmackDown is coming going to the USA Network. Now we need to know what the home of Raw is going to be, since Raw is going to lead USA. Where they going? I would, I would be shocked, no surprise if they go to Paramount or somewhere. Film 3 different networks. You never know. But we will get to that in a little bit later on in the show. Let's get to what's going on in NXT ring report right now. A lot of stuff happened tonight. We get started with this. Akira Tozawa taking on Noam Dar. Noam Dar takes on Akira Tozawa 1-on-1. And what a match that was. They Noam Dar and didn't see Ross Akira Tozawa coming in the door. And he did come in the door. And he did trying to make an impact or stuff. But Noam Dar won the match tonight. Noam Dar keeps on his momentum. One thing about Noam Dar is that he wants to make sure he gets something going for him and get something cooking. Oh hey, see that as well. Well, we get the first dibs of the NXT Women's Champion Live Valkyria. Live Valkyria did a stunning upset, defeating Becky Lynch to win the NXT Women's Championship. Live Valkyria um, really had a visitor, unknown visitor, who did some damage to Becky Lynch this past yesterday on Raw when Xia Li showed up and kicked Becky Lynch's head off at the back. Xia Li and Becky Lynch was going to compete well in the Battle Royal to determine who's the next number one contender for the women's title at Survivor Series. But that match went on to Zoe Stark. Zoe Starks get that win, and she will go to Survivor Series to meet Rhea Ripley for the women's title. But speaking of the women's title on NXT, we got issued a challenge. WWE issued the challenge, and the challenge has been accepted. Live Valkyria in her first title defense will take on Live Valkyria 1-on-1. That match might be interesting to see, but we're gonna see how that's gonna go. Can Live Valkyria win the NXT Women's title? She's having problems with Becky Lynch. What's going on with that? So we'll get to see that coming up forward. Well, we know this. Speaking of NXT Women's Champions, we know that Tiffany Stratton might want to jock herself in position for NXT Women's Championship match, but she had to go through Fallon Henry. Fallon Henry has been playing mind games with Tiffany Stratton, and Tiffany Stratton did not like that one bit. Well, Tiffany Stratton took on Live Valkyria, defeated her easily, defeated her with ease right here with the pinfall. Tiffany Stratton get the win. Tiffany Stratton makes sure that she's make sure Live Valkyria Fallon Henry won't be go. Making sure Fallon Henry won't be going to NXT Deadline as the women's Iron Survivor. So we sell that tonight. Tiffany Stratton putting her stamp of approval on that. And so we'll get to see that as well. Also, too, we saw we also saw that a former NXT champion, Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker was in action. Braun Breaker was in action, and he took on Von Wagner. Braun Breaker wants to make an example out of Von Wagner as what Braun Breaker did. Von Wagner found a way tonight. He may have lost the match tonight to Braun Breaker. If we can find it right quick. He may have lost the match, but he got the war. Von Wagner decided to powerbomb Braun Breaker to a table. This is far from over between these two. And Von Wagner trying to find his inner monster. I think he did found his inner monster. And Von Wagner did what he had to do. I think Von Wagner might be having a new hope in life, taking down Braun Breaker the way he did. Also, too, the interviewer, Mackenzie Mitchell, keeps asking Carmelo Hayes, did he had something to do with Trick Williams's ambush from last week? And Carmelo denied and said that he didn't. Stuff. I don't. It's like they trying to piece the thing together, but it just ain't working. And you see right here, Carmelo, Trick William came from last week. Make sure that he thought Carmelo was the one that did the hit on him. And Carmelo had his match against Irna Dragunov. I think this should have been the money for the MC title, but I don't know what this is gonna lead to going forward. Carmelo and Trick, we'll get that a little bit later on in the show. Speaking of that, what their name is? Chase U. They're the tag team champions. Chase U got a lot going on. We know Chase U, Andrew Chase and Duke Hudson will defend their tag team titles against former champion Stacks and D'Angelo next week. So we'll get to see that coming up as well. Well, we told you about the Iron Survivor Challenge match. We told you they're gonna be a list of legends. JBL, former WWE champion JBL, will be part of the Iron Survivor. I guess he will pick pick people who he thinks should be qualified. The lovely Lita will qualify for the will pick for the women qualifying, as well as Jerry the King Lawler, former AWA champion. Jerry the King Lawler will be on hand as well to pick who he thinks. And the hardcore legend himself, Sep Edge, they will be picking they will be picking who they want to pick for the Iron Survivor. So good. We'll get to see that next week for the Iron Survivor match as well. Well, we was waiting for this, the confrontation between Trick Williams and um Carmelo Hayes. Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes had that confrontation earlier. And the confrontation led to a lot going on. We Trick Williams thought it was going to be it was Carmelo, but it wasn't the case. It wasn't Carmelo. Well, we don't know because Lexi Brian Pillman's son came out there trying to declare his saying it could be somebody new and all this stuff. We know that Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes are best of friends, best of buddies and stuff, and how they roll. But you got to wonder what Carmelo Hayes' motives is and what his intentions is about that. We saw that Trick Williams had picked up Carmelo, and I guess Carmelo gave him himself a guilty face on what was going on. Carmelo looked like he was real guilty right there. I don't know for a fact, but I don't know if Trick Williams will be falling for that on what's going on. But only time will tell, and we will have to wait and see how that's going to go for Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. The storyline continues to be more interesting than most, and we will have to wait and see what's next. Speaking of more honorable mentions as well, um, the Brawling Brutes, they will be in action next week. They're gonna take on that group, Reggie's group next week. So we'll see that match as well. Plus two, we know that next week Metal Four will be hosting American Alpha next week. I don't know what American Alpha is gonna be doing on the show. Just giving them star power as well. So we'll just have to wait and see. Told you next week, Lita, JBL, Jared the King Lawler, and Mick Foley. All of them will be coming on the show to give out their Iron Survival Challenge survival. So we'll see that coming up. All right, that ends the NXT ring report right here. We're gonna move forward and we're gonna return back to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we told you that NXT will be moving to will be moving to a new network. They're moving to the CW network. And a lot of people were speculating that the NWA was going to move to the CW network, but it looks like that ain't going to be the case. After we saw this, Father James Mitchell um, doing Book of Sugar, which ain't supposed to show that, but he may have ruined his chances. And they say it was Billy Corgan's idea. I don't know why would Billy Corgan do something stupid like that, knowing that he needs to put his promotion on television. We get that people do substance abuse, but you don't have to showcase it on a regular basis on wrestling of all places. So just didn't have a good look on that, but we will wait and see. I don't know what Billy Corgan was doing that day, but really didn't make no sense on what's going on with Billy Corgan. Well, we've been hearing reports that Mr. McMahon could be on his way out of WWE for good. I don't know why Vince McMahon would do that. But we're hearing reports that Vince McMahon uh, could be the devil don't like what they like doing. This is what we've been told right here. This is the quote right here. Mr. McMahon membership on our board could have adverse financial operation impact on our business. Membership on our board could expose us to negative publicity or have financial and operating impact on our business. His membership may result to additional scrutiny. Otherwise, risks of hearing directly or indirectly have a very financial. So there's a lot going on. Hopefully, Vince don't mess nothing up this time, but you never know what's going on with Vince McMahon stuff. So, like I said, this has been a eventful day, a busy day for the NXT brand on a day that many people would never have expected, but never saw that coming. All right, we're gonna end that with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Trick Williams thinks Carmelo didn't have nothing to do with it, but you can tell right here, the eyes tells it all. Guilty as guilty come. Thanks for watching the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT